a lot. It's not tall enough to really influence it that much, but it will bring it away from this fence. The other thing here, if you notice, this is what's called a Dutchman. Okay, I've overcut just a hair past my top cut, my angle cut. All right, what that's going to do is create, this is going to close before this side. When that happens, it's going to put a lot of stress on that hinge, potentially even breaking that hinge before that one. If I lose this hinge, it can cause the tree to rotate. So everything that's going on here is pushing this tree away from this fence, but still trying to get it to lay in the direction. Basically, we are creating twist and turn and laying it down where we want it to go. Normally, if I would fix this, I would clean this up and get rid of this, but in this case, I don't need to because it is in my favor. If I break this hinge, it doesn't do anything. By the time this closes, all it's going to do is turn the tree a little bit, and that's not going to hurt me. I've got everything in my favor. If there was other factors to consider, this is not the side I want it, I don't want it to go that way. I have a lot of different issues. I'm going to get rid of this. This is what would be considered a mistake. I'm going to use it now as a benefit. Okay. One thing that when you're creating a face cut, obviously you start with your bottom cut. You use your sights on your saw, which are these lines, the gun sights. And you can use these once you set your saw in and you cut to this point. This is going to give you a really good idea of what that face cut is facing, perpendicular. This line right here, if I look down at, that's pretty much where the tree is going to go, my gunning sights. When I do my top cut, my angle cut, I rotate the saw up and I try to maintain this plane. Now, you can get really technical and you can practice a lot and you can get to where you can line these corners up perfectly. I've never bothered because ultimately what I create in the end is what matters to me. So again, it's safe to work on this tree at this point, running around, moving left to right. A lot of people frown on that. It's fine to do that. It's great if you can do a perfect bottom and a perfect angle cut and everything matches. You're a badass. It is a good thing. It's something we should all strive to do. I do this so much, it's not really an issue to me. I'd rather just get this thing, bomb that thing, pop around, clean it up, but in the end, where I take my time is to make sure what I built is what I wanted to from the beginning, that I have the things in place that matter. I have correct hinges, I've got a nice face that's even and clean, it's facing the right direction, that I know what's going to happen to my hinges, when they're going to break, ideally, how they're going to control the tree's fall, etc. Alright, so we're good to go here. Now, when I go to my back cut, I've got everything lined up, I'm looking at my conditions, everything seems to be what I wanted to build at this point. So now, I'm going to create my back cut. It's going to have about an 1.5 to 2 inch stump shot, which is the height above this cut. 2 cuts. Stump shot affects having the tree set back. It keeps it from pushing back on itself and pushing out the wrong way. So in this case, too much stump shot, you can't get a tree to go, and you start having to use wedges and things like that. Too little, you have the chance of breaking your hinges or losing control of the tree. It's a balance. Typically nothing more than 2 inches, unless you're dealing with something extraordinarily huge and heavy. In this case, again, I've got wind, lean, everything in my favor. I don't foresee it going anywhere else but where it wants to go, where I faced it. So I'm going to go with a modest back stump shot, probably around 1.5 inches, just because it is a decent sized tree and it's a cedar, which is not necessarily that strong. About 1.5 inches, nice and level. I'm going to try to be, matching and parallel to this thing at a different level, 1.5 inches above. Bring it in. This tree should just